Hello and welcome. We know that applying for a visa, especially one that brings a child into your life and into a new country, can feel, well, pretty overwhelming. That's why today we're going to break down the Orphan Relative Visa, the Subclass 117, piece by piece. Our goal here is to make this whole journey feel a lot clearer and a lot more manageable for you. So let's dive right in.
So here's our game plan. We've got 5 main sections. We're going to start with the basics, like what this visa actually is. Then we'll get into the crucial prep work and all the documents you'll need to gather. After that, we'll walk through the application process itself. And finally, we'll talk about what you can expect after you've hit send or, well, mailed it off.
Okay, so first things first. Before we dive into any of the paperwork or the details, let's get a really solid understanding of what this visa is all about. Knowing its core purposes is honestly the most important first step. At its heart, the Subclass 117 visa is really a lifeline. It's a permanent visa that allows a child who's all alone to come and build a new life in Australia with a relative. It's specifically for those really tough situations where a child's parents have either sadly passed away, are physically or mentally unable to look after them, or in some cases simply can't be found. So that's the why. But the really big question, the one you're probably asking, is what does it actually take to make this happen? What's the process? Well, that is exactly what we're about to break down for you right now. All right, let's move on to our second section, what you need to do before you even think about filling out a form. Getting these first steps right is absolutely crucial, and trust me, it can save you a whole lot of headaches down the road. First up, some really practical initial checks. Number 1, and it sounds simple, but make sure the child's passport is valid and has plenty of time on it. Next, you need to have a think about whether you want professional help. Now, here's a really important distinction. If you need actual immigration advice, you've got to use a registered migration agent or a lawyer. But if you just want someone to get your mail and pass it on, well, that can be anyone you trust. And now we come to what is probably the biggest part of the preparation, gathering all your documents. I know this part can feel like a mountain of paperwork, but don't worry. We're going to break it down into really clear categories so you'll know exactly what you're looking for. Okay, so here's the big picture. You're going to need things like identity documents, passport, ID card. You'll need recent photos that meet those very specific size requirements. You'll need their travel documents, proof of your relationship to the child, and then the really heavy-hitting stuff, evidence that there's no parental care, character documents if the child is over 16, and documents about parental responsibility. Now, out of all those documents we just listed, listen up, because this is the one. The absolute cornerstone of your entire application is proving that the child has no parents who can care for them. This is the central point of the visa, and your evidence here has to be rock solid. So, what does that proof actually look like? Well, it depends on the situation. If the parents have passed away, you'll need official documents like death certificates. If they're alive but unable to provide care, you'll need strong evidence like a detailed doctor's report. And if the parents are missing, you have to provide evidence showing how long they've been gone and what real efforts have been made to try and find them. You're going to want to pay close attention to this slide because small slip-ups here can cause huge delays. Any document that's not in English has to be translated. If you get it done in Australia, the translator must have what's called NAATI accreditation. If it's done overseas, they need to include all their professional details. And remember this, every single document you send in, the original, the translation, it all needs to be a certified copy. Okay, I cannot say this loudly enough. This is straight from the department. Do not, under any circumstances, mail your original documents. I'm talking birth certificates, passports, anything like that. They might not come back. Only send certified copies of everything, please. Okay, you've done all the prep work. You've got a stack of certified and translated documents. Now it's time for the main event, actually lodging the application. And the way you do this is very, very specific. So the whole process boils down to 5 main steps. First, you'll complete 2 main forms, Form 47CH for the child and Form 40CH for you, the sponsor. This is super important. You have to pay the fee before you send anything. Then you bundle it all together, the forms, the receipt for the payment, all your documents, and you mail it. And seriously, for your own sanity, make a complete copy of everything before you put it in the envelope. And where does it all go? Everything gets sent to the Child and Other Family Processing Center in Perth. But be careful here, there are 2 different addresses. If you're using regular Australia Post, use the locked bag address. If you're using a courier service, you need to use the Wellington Street address. It's a small detail, but getting it right is really important. This is a direct quote from the official guidelines, and believe me, it is non-negotiable. This is an old-school paper-based application that has to be mailed. You can't just walk into an office and hand it over. If you try, it'll be an invalid application and they won't even look at it.
All right, deep breath. Your application is in the mail. The long wait begins. So, what happens now? Our final section is all about what you can do to manage your application and, just as importantly, manage your expectations while you're in this waiting period.
Once they receive your application, you'll get an acknowledgement letter. And once you have that, you can link your paper application to an online ImmiAccount. This is a game changer. It lets you upload any extra documents they ask for, you can update your contact details if you move, and you can check the status of everything online. It's so much better than waiting by the phone. So what does this waiting game usually look like? Well, after that first acknowledgement, you can pretty much expect that they'll ask for the child to do a health exam and maybe biometrics. It's so important to get those done as quickly as you can. They might ask for more information along the way, and then finally, you'll receive the official decision in writing. Here is another piece of advice that you absolutely must follow. The child has to be outside of Australia when this visa is granted. So please, please do not book any flights or make any final travel plans until you have that official written confirmation that the visa is approved. Jumping the gun on this can cause major financial loss and a whole lot of heartache. In the end, it all comes down to one of two outcomes. If the visa is granted, fantastic news, the letter will tell you the visa grant number, the start date, and any conditions that might be attached. If it's refused, the letter will explain exactly why, let you know if you have any right to a review, and, unfortunately, it will confirm that the application fee is not refundable. So let's just boil this all down into a final checklist. The 5 most important things to remember. 1, double check that the child is eligible. 2, get every single document ready before you apply. 3, never ever send original documents. 4, use the right mailing address. And 5, do not book any travel until that visa grant is in your hands in writing. And as we wrap up, I want to leave you with one final thought. Getting the visa is a massive step, but it's not the finish line. The real journey really begins when the child arrives. So thinking ahead now about how you're going to support them emotionally, helping them settle into school, making new friends, that will make all the difference for their future in Australia. Thanks so much for joining us.